All right, welcome. It's officially 6 o'clock, so we want to respect everyone's time. We'll get started. This is session 10, keep every lead. We're gonna, all right, I'm not good at technology. I don't know why they let me do these things, guys. This is being recorded, I can't say that. We're gonna keep admitting people. Ah, they're coming right in. Okay. So on today's, are we on the same page? We're not. This is the first day of the lead follow-up of our third segment of Ignite. We have covered becoming the real estate expert of choice by building your value proposition. I keep seeing these pop up. We have also covered gathering leads through prospecting and marketing. That's what we've covered. Today, our focus now switches to lead follow-up, where you can make or break your business. Generating a lead can take almost no time at all. The important aspect of keeping the lead in your grasp until they are ready to do business with you. It can possibly take up to 10 years. This next segment of Ignite will help you turn a possible business into a probable business, and then probable business into profitable business. We will engage in a daily success system after each lesson that will establish the core activities for your entire real estate career. So we're going to go through and then we're going to set up what these successes look like for your career to turn that possible business into probable business, to become the real estate expert that closes the transaction. All right. The topics in lead follow-up that we're going to go over: keep every lead. That's where we are today. We're going to follow that up with follow-up with leads. And then you'll have strengthened relationships and qualify potential buyers and sellers. The lead follow-up process is essential to converting leads to business from the moment you have captured a lead and put it in your database. Before we begin, let's hear about progress with the success system. People keep coming in. I love that there's so many of y'all popping in. I keep admitting people. This is quite If your birthday falls in the range of January through March, right? So if your birthday falls in the first quarter, raise your hand and I'll call on you to share. Keep in mind, this is not about perfection, it's about progress. What we're doing here is everyone's going to have a chance to report. So for example, if your birthday's in the first quarter, you will report now. If it's in the next quarter, the next time. So everyone's going to get a chance to share. What is I keep needing admits to the thing and it's throwing me off. Also, this is not telling me what we're supposed to be asking. So if we're talking about lead follow-up, let's just start there. My guy Vinny's like, what the heck are we even talking about here? So we're talking about lead follow-up. Again, if your birthday's in the first quarter, we'll go. Does anyone have a birthday in the first quarter? And I can only see part of you. Because y'all are the ones who are going to share first if you have anything to share. What do you think, or what is your process, or what does lead follow-up mean to you? I raised my own hand. No birthdays. How about the second quarter? How about March through April through July?
I mean, I'm July.
So tell me, what does lead follow-up? What does that process, what does that mean to you?
I mean, I'm kind of brand new, but I would say lead follow-up is just talking to the client, just making sure like you remember them, just having a good relationship with them. And I'm not sure if like the client specifically wanted a house or anything at that time, but you just following up with them, just reminding them you are a realtor, things like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's about staying top of mind, right? So exactly, like following up, meeting your client or prospective client exactly where they're at. Anyone else have thoughts on what lead follow-up looks like currently for them, or what they think it would look like when they're in business? I know we're all at different stages of our business here.
I would say just following up, whether it be like a newsletter or a phone call, like, hey, how are you doing? Um, are you thinking about selling or buying? Throwing that out there at some point, but adding your personal touches too.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned newsletter. That's super great. We've definitely seen a lot of success with email newsletter campaigns. Absolutely. Great job. I'm August. Lead follow-up to me is maintaining relationships and following up with potential answers. 100%, right? Our clients, our customers, consumers are always going to have a lot of questions along the way. We don't have to know them all, but we have to find that, be the resource for them, somewhere where they can go. Absolutely. Click. All right, today's agenda. We're going to start with what is lead follow-up, how to lead follow-up, post lead follow-up. We'll go through any recaps, ahas, and daily success system. The benefit of a lead system follow-up. So we talk about systems a lot, and the benefit of that is when we're super busy, or it's easy to be very organized when we have 1 or 2 transactions going on, right? We're not super busy, we can kind of maintain. But when we have lots of buyers and lots of sellers, and there's a lot of moving parts, if you have a system in place for your lead follow-up, it's going to make it a lot easier so that we don't lose people in that process, and we're able to maintain a consistent way in which we follow up with our leads. And that, hence the word system, is it's very systematized, and we know it's just going to go, and we're going to be able to maintain that lead. To start thinking about what you will learn today, let's consider what questions you might have about what lead follow-up you'd like to know. That doesn't make sense. What questions you might have, and what about lead follow-up you'd like to know more about. You can look back or think back to what you've learned in previous sessions, especially in the last segment of Ignite Lead Generation. So I'm gonna give you guys, we're going to have a 5-minute conversation, either with a partner or as a group, about what questions you think you'd have, and what you'd like to learn more about. So we're gonna pause, we're gonna do 5 minutes. Maybe I can break you guys into groups. I'm not good at Zoom, or if we all just wanna mastermind together as a group, I can stop screen share and we can see all of each other. And we can share what we,
I can
what
start.
we wanna know.
I would like to know really, with me, more about command and maximizing how you utilize command to set it, forget it, and just to let that help me more. So that's what I need to know with.
I love command issues. Questions, command questions. Those are not issues. What else do we want to learn about today? What questions might you have about lead follow-up? What might you want to know more about? Pretend like I'm not here. We're in open groups. Chat amongst yourselves. What are y'all thinking?
Is this an area where we can sort of leverage? Because I would say in my other business, I think this is probably the most challenging, is to be able to follow up on our leads, right? On a systemic way, sort of like creating the systems. Would that be like a regular email? Would it be a team member giving calls? How do you do that? Or what, not how do you do that? That's not the question I have. I guess, what's the best practice, I would say?
So like, what are those systems, right? What works the best? Absolutely. It's the perfect time to tune in today.
And I had a question about how often we should be contacting and doing our follow-ups.
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. Like, which one would you use, like the emailing or the calling? I guess you would maybe have to do a conversion rate with like 100 people and see how many people you get more. CNC based on which was the better conversion rate. That's how I would do it. Sometimes it works better than others.
Yeah, I think I was actually in a session with, this is my first reunion, so what's his name? I think it's James or Jason Abram. Which one is it? James or Jason?
They're both Jason Abrams and James Shaw. They're both
Okay, so
incredible.
it's Jason Abram, right? So he showed a chart that had like 1 to 100 or something, and based on the calls you made, you circle in that kind of note that will tell you what your conversion rate is. But I also heard someone mention to use a service, like this is the part of leveraging, use a service like Upwork or Fiverr to get somebody to do some, not cold calling because you sort of have a relationship with them, but if you yourself don't have the time to do it, maybe utilizing a service that you provide the script, you provide the information that can lead them to where you want them to go. So if it's setting up an appointment, or if it's, whatever it may be, you're trying to get, not a sale perhaps, but just that next step.
And also to free up some of your time, you could possibly put them on a smart plan so that it could automatically generate different steps for you so that you can move forward.
Wait, how do you use a smart plan? Is that on command as well?
Yes, it's in command. She'll probably hopefully tell us more because I need to learn a lot more about it in myself as well.
Yes, I just saw that in command today when I was going through and didn't know, so I'm glad you brought that up, Sheila.
And y'all, I've had my license since 2017, but I still am here because it's so much to learn. And I feel like, when I'm still dual career, I wasn't applying myself the way that I could. And now that I'm talking about retiring from teaching, I'm trying to pull it all out.
Is anyone using the smart plan right now?
I tested it on myself.
There is a whole bunch of videos on how to use it and set it up. I'm gonna go through my email and see if I can find the link for it, and I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, I just started to set mine up too, and it's pretty easy in command. When you're putting your information in, it's right in, it's hard to say, but it'll ask you if you want to put them on a smart plan. And I just said yes, and then you pick out what smart plan you want to put them on, and it just adds them into your smart plan, from what I gather.
Yep, one quick resource too is Marty Miller's 66-day challenge. If y'all aren't familiar, I said Miller. It's on YouTube and they're short videos. So for like our ADHD attention spans, you can watch it quickly and it's just step by step how to do it. And smart plans, yes, they are. I promise you're not gonna break anything in command. Like try stuff out. That's how we learn. And there are pre-made smart plans, guys. Don't recreate the wheel. It's not worth it, I promise. You can add people, you can edit it. There's a very simple edit button, and then you can mass add people every time you add someone new in. It is fairly user-friendly once you start clicking around and getting into it. So I love that you guys are talking about smart plans and the technology that we do have, because we have incredible technology. It is there for you. Like, use it, right? So I love our discussions that we are having and some of the questions that we're hoping to be answered today. And as we go through, hopefully they're answered. If not, we'll touch on those in the end. So to head on to the next step, if y'all can turn to the lead follow-up page in your participant guide. Hopefully y'all have those. I have it somewhere. If you need me to drop it in the chat, I'd have to find it. So first, let's review who can recall how to define a lead. I can drop it. Give me 1 sec to find it. All right, hopefully this works. The link. Let me know if that doesn't work, the Google Drive of it. Does anyone recall how to define a lead?
Would a lead be would a lead be? A lead, I believe, is someone that you've had contact with of some sort of contact, and you were able to obtain information, crucial information to follow up, which would be email, phone, address, name.
Yep, exactly right. So a lead is a person who has shown interest in your service you provide and you have their contact information, although they are yet to engage in a two-way conversation. Perfect. Someone who you have the potential to do business with. Absolutely. Y'all are on it. The goal of lead follow-up is to follow up with that lead with the goal of entering into the two-way conversation. So we all have KW websites if we are with Keller Williams, and you can get leads from your site, and it'll pop into your email and say you have a new site. Oh, perfect, Tony, thank you. That is a lead because you have their contact information, but you have yet to engage with that person in a two-way conversation. So the goal of the follow-up is to get that person into a two-way conversation. Does lead follow-up only apply to a lead? No.
Well,
Yeah.
if you haven't done business with them, are they still considered like a non-lead? Like,
So any person is considered a lead, right? If
Right.
you get their contact information, they could do business with you either in the now or in the future. And so the lead follow-up doesn't have to be just with someone who raised their hand and said, I want to use your real estate services. Every person in your database, whether a lead or a contact, requires follow-up so that when they have a real estate need, they immediately think of you. So your sphere of influence, your people, your database, they should be followed up with as if at some point they are going to do business with you in the future. It's all about mind share. We have to be the number one thought. Consider this. Are the people you've put in your database only in your real estate database? Are you the only real estate agent that they know? Not likely. That's right. How many other real estate databases are they in? How do you ensure that when they think of real estate, they immediately think of you? What do we think?
Follow up. Follow up.
Follow up? Someone said sharing your value. I love that. So what's your value and how do you share it? I'm in the chat. I have heard every person knows about 7 real estate agents. You have to stay engaged in their lives. Set yourself apart. We did an interesting exercise here in our market center. I'm in Pittsburgh, PA, by the way. We did an exercise here where we were talking about mind share, and I asked our agents to name different brands of water. Right here in Pittsburgh, we go right to a few different brands. And we probably amongst the group came up with 15 different types of brands. There are over 100 brands of water, right? In our MLS, local where we are, there are almost 9,000 real estate agents in it. We're in Western PA. So how do we become the number one agent in their mind? Yes, we have to set ourselves apart. We have to engage in their lives. How do we do these things? Is anyone ready? Sorry, go ahead.
You could do multiple things like Chamber of Commerce mixers. You could volunteer your time to help other things. One thing I've heard a lot from people is they do things that they're interested in, and it's just easy for them to talk about life in that aspect. So
Yeah, I love that. That was such an aha for a lot of people, and for me in the beginning, where lead gen doesn't have to just be cold calling, right? Like if you're a runner, create a group of people who want to run with you, and you're the real estate agent of the group. They're going to think of you because they spend every morning with you. Or if you're like dogs, like get a group of people and go to the dog park or whatever interests you. Kevin in the chat said, is having the consistency, that's the word, to reach out and build a connection with your client that differs from someone who is just after a check. And then Evelyn said consistency also. Communicating is a big one. For certain, in the MREA, if you haven't read it, great book. The average consumer has room for 1 to 2 real estate agents in their brain, in their mind share. So if you're number 3, you simply just don't exist. So you have to be number 1 or 2. Does that help you a little bit understand the importance of lead follow-up? Got some yeses, okay. All right, there we go. We got a couple yeses. Look at all these yeses coming in. I have to share my screen again so y'all can see the slide. But I lost it. Here it is. There it isn't. That's not what I want. I promise I'll get it together. Okay. Let's review the graphic and what it means when it comes to lead follow-up. Everyone in your database lives on some point along these waves. And I think Jason Abrams specifically shares this, you know, when we're at the top, immediately after we close, you cannot see my pen, but immediately after we close the deal and we start to transition down, we're at the furthest point from when the person moves again, right? We've just closed, now you have to make it down the hill and then all the way back up until they're ready to move again. At the top of the wave is when they purchase the house. The day after they buy the house, they begin to move down that hill and will continue until they begin to think about a new house. Over someone's lifetime, they have the potential to buy 1, 2, 3, or more houses. The distance between those purchases on average is anywhere between 7 and 10 years. If I gave you a lead close to the top of the wave, what would you perceive about the quality of that lead? Somebody who's right here near the top. What would you think about the quality of that lead?
High quality.
Pretty good, high quality,
Definitely priority.
priority. Yeah, most likely you'd perceive that as a high quality lead. That is, they are close to being ready to purchase. What if I gave you a lead right after they purchased their home? So right here. How would you perceive that lead?
Maybe not as high of a priority, but if their experience was really good, it could be a referral situation. I don't know.
I love that. You went, yes, I love that referral. Low priority, but it depends on their experience. Not ready to buy, but still important. Non-committal. What else? Any other thoughts about that lead who already purchased? I love that nobody said bad lead, right? It says here, you may perceive that as a bad lead. No one said that. Maybe you were thinking it. That's okay. That's probably what I would have thought too. However, there are no bad leads, right? Potential referral. I love that. Every lead is on the wave somewhere. This lead may not be hot right now, but they are potential, they are future, right? As we talked about, they're probably not someone we're gonna communicate with every single day. That would seem weird. But they are somebody that we need to contact at some point because they are going to be future business again. Another opportunity, but keep plugged in. Absolutely. As a real estate agent, following up with all leads with frequency and intensity is key to remaining in close emotional proximity. So as any lead approaches the top of the wave and are ready to purchase, they think of you. This is where the importance of value and lead follow-up comes to play. So we can't close with them here, wait 4 to 6 years and think we're going to meet them back at the top here and get that business, right? There's a lot of life that happens in this downward and back upward hill that we need to be following up with in the meantime. Lead follow-up, a framework. Think of the leads that enter your database through lead generation as your possible business. Lead follow-up helps turn the leads from possible business into probable business with the end goal of being a profitable business. The 2021 National Associations of Realtors profile of home buyers and sellers details the opportunity that lead follow-up can provide to your business. They collected research that shows that when selecting an agent to use, 73% of buyers only talk to one agent, and 82% of sellers only contacted one agent. Those are high numbers. Very few people are out here interviewing agents. Like less than 28%, less than 30%. Since the data shows that most buyers and sellers only talk to one agent before deciding to do business with them, what will you do to ensure that you are the one agent for everyone in your database? What are some ideas that y'all would do to make sure you're the only agent your database talks to? What happened? Any thoughts? What would y'all do?
Be more than an agent, be a friend, be somebody that they feel that they want to talk to versus they have to talk to.
Be a friend, be a part of their life. Yeah.
Well,
do
for
you-
me, I think it's still letting everyone know that this is what I'm doing now and having that transition happen in their minds as it's happened in mine. So they have to begin to see me in that space more.
Mhm. Yes, so, right, like similar, but slightly different, and we want to be a part of their life, but also, and correct me if I'm paraphrasing incorrectly, making that transition from I'm not just your gal pal, I'm your realtor. Right? So changing that story of I'm the person you go to for your business also. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Follow-ups. You do not need to talk about business. Discuss family. Say more about that, Evelyn. Oh, she did. Guys, I didn't read far enough. Learn about the person itself so you can communicate more. When they decided to purchase, they think of you. Only relationships. How confident do we feel in our masterminding what we're talking about, that if we do these things, we're going to be the #1 real estate agent in our database's mind? I like a lot the not always talking about business. Stay relevant, yes, so that they can refer also. Talk about family. Have y'all ever heard of Ford, Family, Occupation, Recreation, Dream? Yes. Heck yeah, coming in strong, right? So when we're talking to our people, and we're just asking from a place of genuine interest, how's your husband? And guess what? Social media makes that really easy to do. You can just find everyone and see what the heck's going on in their life. How's your family? How are the kids? How are the boys adjusting to the new baby? I saw your mom move. Like all the things. How's your job? Oh, you never went back to full-time. You're still virtual. How's that going with the space in your house, right? You thought you were going to go back. How's the mechanic business going? Oh, you need a bigger garage, right? If you ask people about their lives, they're going to tell you everything you want to know. And then usually they ask how you are. And then you get to say how great things are going in your real estate business. And you get to bring that up. Yeah, Matthew says connecting on a human level is so important to show you care. Otherwise, guys, we become the used car salesman. We become the infomercial guys. But wait, there's more. There's not more. I gotta share my screen again. I fixed the slideshow. Guys, I said this earlier. If you aren't first or second in their mind, you probably won't get the business. Taken from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. This concept of taking up space in people's minds through staying in close emotional proximity to them is called mind share. Emotional proximity is the result of engaging in touches with your database. That is connecting on a human level, like Matthew just shared, like Evelyn was sharing in the chat, asking questions about their family, not just about real estate. Thinking back to the day you learned about lead generation, what touches are the strongest when it comes to relationship building, and what are the weakest?
I would say that the touches that are the strongest are those where you're either with them physically, let's say you're meeting someone for dinner or drinks, or it could be an event that you're hosting, or personal conversations over the phone. The ones that are less effective are things like emails, newsletters, even though they can be good and they do serve a purpose, but they're just less personal because it's going to a mass audience. But the ones where it's more intimate, I think those are a little more effective.
The question was, thank you. Yes, 100%, that face-to-face because they can see you. Someone asked me to repeat the question. Thinking back to what you learned about lead generation, what touches are the strongest when it comes to relationship building, and what are the weakest? And so David was sharing face-to-face, personal versus just shooting out a generic email. We have in the chat, face-to-face is the strongest. Listening is key, like active listening, right? Not just waiting for our turn to talk. Something that involves emotion is very strong. Open
Yeah.
communication.
So I think that, yeah, I think too that the phone calls would be at the top of the list, and then maybe the emails and the marketing stuff that you send via mail would be not as strong in strength.
Open, oh, we said that open communication. What else do we think is the strongest versus the weakest? I'm gathering we believe, right, that face-to-face or emotional human connection is the strongest. Any other thoughts?
I think handwritten notes also can be pretty strong. If they are truly handwritten versus those
Those
handwritten.
machines.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ford, talk about them, not you. That's right, Tony. Yes, handwritten, personalized notes. I'm a big supporter of that. I send birthday cards to my whole database once a week. I write down and I write birthday cards. Figuring out their disk type. Tony, that is interesting. That will be helpful in knowing how they want to communicate. Right? If they're a high D or a high C. Meeting a person and a phone call are the touches that will have the greatest impact on the relationship you are building. Good job. Email and text are weaker, related to forming connections and bonds. While you will lead follow-up using a variety of touches, it is important to keep in mind which ones will be most effective as you follow up. One thing, it's not in here, but one thing that I also do that has proven to be pretty effective if I can't get them on the phone is I will take a video of myself sending a message to them like, hey, I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday, or hey, I saw whatever, or I send gratitude messages every week. So, hey, I just thought about you and I wanted to share gratitude with you, because what it does is it creates the feeling of that face-to-face interaction with the person, because they're physically seeing my face and the expression as if we're having a conversation. So that has proven to be a pretty fun time. It's awkward seeing yourself on video, but you just gotta send it and move on. People really do enjoy that. Haha. We share ahas because they are powerful and meaningful insights that come from reflection on experiences we're having. When we share them out loud, we further strengthen the power of the aha, and we help fellow participants to have powerful ahas as well. Let's hear a few of your ahas so far. Oh, man.
Use the smart plan on command for automatic lead follow-ups, and do 4 touches via phone calls.
Yeah. Those Ford phone calls, the family, occupation, recreation, dream phone calls, those go a long way. Diane likes your handwritten notes. She forgot about those, she says. That was an aha. What else? Anything else that we've shared or thought about today that you were just like, yes, love that? All right, let's create some more then. How to lead follow-up. Just like your intention to be strategic with your lead generation efforts, you should be strategic with your lead follow-up efforts. Being thoughtful about how you will follow up and leveraging the highest value touches that yield the greatest result will help you convert leads at a higher level. Turn to the Fortune is in the follow-up mind share page in the participant guide. Please. Mind share is gained through positioning yourself in front of your leads frequently with relevant and timely information. The goal is to open the door to two-way communication, in addition to getting them to think about you anytime they think about real estate. Through Ignite, you have been introduced to 2 different systems that engage your leads and contacts and help you gain mind share. What are these systems? "19 to connect, 36 to convert." So now we're gonna share what we're thinking about this. Connection and conversion mind share. Any thoughts?
Is the book suggesting that we connect this way for our 19, or is this an example of how you can connect in different ways? Like, for instance, if it's not 4 touches, quarterly phone call. So I'm thinking that 4 is for what? 4 people?
Let me get to the page that you are on.
I'm on, what page is this? How to lead follow-up. The Fortune is in the follow-up mind share, and then it shows leads, and then it says 19 to connect. 10.4 is the page number, I think.
I have like 3 different workbooks open. I'll get there in a sec. Do, 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 do. Oh my goodness. I went too far. We are still in section 10.
Ten point six,
What was that?
is it 10.6?
10.4 is the Fortune to follow. Fortune is in the follow-up mind share page.
Yeah,
Yep. And so if we're looking at that page and it's 19 to connect. So what they're saying, right, is it's gonna take 19 touches per year to connect. And they recommend, and those are the recommended touches, right? 4 phone calls, so quarterly phone call once a quarter. How you can make sure that you call someone quarterly is by using the DTD2, doing the database touch 2. And it's, if you don't have it, your market center should. Someone can get that for you. It breaks down like every week what last name letters you're contacting by a phone call and text, and it will get everyone once a quarter on your phone call. 12 total touches, so that ends up being 1 additional touch. So we're already calling them once a quarter. Now we're gonna touch them once a month via an email newsletter or a market report or a video. That's where the smart plans really come into play, that monthly newsletter that if you have their address, you can put them up on a neighborhood Nurture Watch that sends an email once a month. 2 additional touches in direct mail. So a magnet or a calendar, a postcard. Your postcard should be an objection handler, right? We're going to talk about relevant stats to the market. Printed market report. If you know their area of location, you can print what's going on in their market right now. And then 1 touch as an event, an annual event, a party, a movie screening, a get together, a happy hour, a pumpkin painting, a pie, something or rather a pie giveaway, but 1 in person for 13 total touches. So if you keep scrolling a little bit to 10.6, where we ended up coming down to, what is your plan for that? For your calls, for your texts, for your emails? What are our thoughts on some of these things? What can we do? Right? Let's just not talk about it. What's the action behind it?
This is why I want to get good at command. Because I want to set it up where it does every month send out the communication to my database. I do want to get better at being able to look at it and see who I need to follow up call with every quarter. These are the things that I'm going Saturday to my office to sit and learn more. But this is where I'm really waiting to get connected with.
Yeah. And command can do a lot for you, right? Like those monthly touches in that neighborhood nurture or that email campaign, command can definitely do that. And there is Twilio, and you can pay for texting if you want. Right? I don't like to pay for things that I don't have to.
I use my social media really daily just to stay in touch with people in my immediate area. But as far as trying to build new leads, I want to get better at marketing campaigns, the direct mail neighborhoods through the USPS, things of that nature is what I want to focus on. I'm not ready to buy billboards yet.
Billboards depend on your market too. If you have a small market, you can saturate the market. If you are in a big metropolitan city, it's going to be hard to saturate through a billboard. All right, what are some events? Let's mastermind some events that we could have. It talks about 1 annual event per year. And we want to keep in mind when we're talking about direct mail, keep in mind price, right? Especially I don't even want to say especially if we're new, just in general, right? Like we should have a specific budget for our marketing, and let's pick a farm, a geographic location that we're going to saturate, that we can afford to mail once a month, because that can add up. Stamps keep going up, right? So just something to keep in mind there. And then 1 event per year, we want to keep in mind cost there. Maybe we partner with our preferred in-house lender, or we partner with a title company. But what are some events that we could have? Let's mastermind some events, because we need 1 per year.
I think 1 per year wouldn't work for me. I'm more of a social person, and I do it already. It's in my wheelhouse. So I think at the last session we talked about it, she talked about doing events monthly or whatever. And I do that now with women groups and the people that I'm connected with. So I definitely see that as an avenue, and it doesn't even have to be cost. You know, if I'm hanging out at the rooftop, I can send out an email saying, come meet us there. If I choose to have a speaker, or if it's just a social, or if it's a trivia night, people can buy their own food, buy their own drinks, but I'm connecting the people. And I think that's how I'm looking at doing events, you know, whether it's around a social, we'll do a lot of volunteer with organizations and different things like that. So maybe even doing a night or evening where we're volunteering, we're putting together kits for the foster home or the foster children or what have you. But I really think what Jason said was about leaning into what you enjoy doing. And I think this aspect of the 19 Connects sometimes may throw people off thinking that they have to go by this particular script. If you're not a text person or email person or a Facebook person, you can, I believe, hire that stuff out and spend the time doing what you do best. And if it's being in front of people, connecting, then that's what you do. That's where you spend your energy, and all the other stuff can get done through leverage.
Absolutely, right? We need to, it's like our big rocks. We need to spend the most time where we operate the best, like our wheelhouse, our genius, and then what also makes us the most money, right? If sitting in front of a computer, setting up that smart plan or sending, 15 voice text messages a day isn't it for me, you're absolutely correct. You can do, we do a couple small happy hours a year, right? It's zero cost to us. We just gather people who should know each other because they have influence and they have connections. And we're like, hey, we're all getting together at this happy hour. I'm not paying for everyone's drinks. They're paying for their own, but they're making the connection. And all I have done is I made that connection, and now I have mind share because they know now they have a great connection, and I was the conduit of that, right? You bring value. Absolutely. So I love that. Any other thoughts here? Look, we jumped ahead a little bit. That's okay. So we'll just summarize what we've already been talking about. The intent of these touches is to spread them out over the calendar year. So it'll equate to about 1 touch every 3 weeks. The goal of this communication is to establish a formal relationship and open up that two-way dialogue. When do you think, here's a question we didn't go over, when do you think a lead should be added to the 19 Connect Touch campaign? I'm trying to find the chat. Oh, wait, I missed this. I'm a fan. See, y'all got to tell me when I miss it. I'm a fan of finding a benefit to throw a concert for. Hey, I love that. Like live music and have success in their business with Lyme disease benefit shows. You'd be surprised who's willing to donate to things that are benefit. Yep. Back to when should a person be added to your 19 Connect Touch campaign? When you get it, as soon as you get their info. Yep, absolutely. A lead should be added to your touch campaign immediately. Be aware that communicating with leads, it's speed to lead. Right? So the second that lead comes in, you need to communicate with them and then add them to your touch campaign. Whatever your touch campaign looks like, this is what is recommended, what is a proven system to work, but you add them immediately. A lead should be added. I said that this is how quickly you reach out after your lead has engaged with you. Your speed to lead should be rapid. Just think, if a lead entered your database through a social media post, consider how quickly that person has already moved on to engaging and interacting with other social media. What if the next account that they interact with is also a real estate agent? You should engage with that lead before they contact someone else. I think social media is such a great point there because we just scroll. And I may see something and like it or comment, and 13 seconds later, I'm on to the next post. I'm not even thinking about you anymore. So we got to be fast. Lead follow-up best practices. As you get started in your real estate career and as you begin to generate leads during Ignite, there are some considerations you should make regarding your own lead follow-up plan. We will be using a lead follow-up best practices page in your participant guide for brainstorming. You will have about 10 minutes and some time to share. You can always come back to this page and spend more time thinking about it later. Some things to consider when following up with leads. Match the touch campaign with your strengths, we were talking about, where you operate the best. Be prepared when you reach out with a reason why you're calling or contacting that lead. For example, sending market information as a touch prior to the phone call. So 2 quick notes. The time to think about what you're going to say is not when the phone is ringing, right? We should already know. And if we're not talking about the mail that we're sending, it's spam. So if you send them a piece of mail or you send an email, the next follow-up is a call. Hey, did you get the thing I sent you? Make sure that each time you communicate with the lead, they know that you are in real estate, how to reach you, and how to refer business to you. Know when you are going to complete your daily lead follow-up tasks. This should be time blocked as a separate activity from your lead generation. So you've got lead generation time on your calendar and you have lead follow-up. Those are not the same, they're 2 separate time blocks. Set your personal standard for speed to lead. What time frame do you expect yourself to communicate with your lead? Is it 24 hours? Is it in the next 5 hours? Is it within the first hour? Is it within the first 30 minutes? Is it within the first 5 minutes to 2 minutes? You set that standard for yourself. So flip to the lead follow-up best practices page in the participant guide. And we're going to spend the next 7 minutes going through that, masterminding and sharing. I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to get to that page and then try to share it again. All right, that's page 10.5 if you're looking. So go through the questions and then we'll share our thoughts on them. Do we need more time? Do we want to start sharing our thoughts? Totally up to you. All right, let's share some thoughts on what we're thinking on any of these. Just pick any of the ones that you were going through that you either had a question on or you want to share anything on.
For me, I'm a dual agent, so time blocking and lead follow-up, time blocking for lead follow-up has been probably one of my biggest struggles because being dual career, the hours that I feel I have free may not be the same hours that my clients have free. So, that's actually something I need to work on, but that's something that once I can get that figured out, I think I'll progress a lot quicker and smoother with my lead follow-up. It's just a matter of me finding the right time. What's too late at night? What's too early in the morning? I'm free right after work before the evening starts, but most people are still working. So it's something I gotta work.
What hours do you work?
6 to 2:30. And then usually whenever I get home, people usually aren't ready till after dinner. And then after dinner, I have a family as well, or I'm going to show home. So it's it's figuring out that right time.
It's definitely a challenge for sure for the dual career folks. One thing that I've found helpful this is just for me, my brain really worries that an email has gone unread and what that person is thinking, that I'm not responding right away, or even a text. And so I will turn on an auto reply on my email that just says, in much nicer terms, but says essentially like, I see you, I got this, and I respond to emails during this time, right? So I at least know that I have responded to that person and they know when to expect a response from me. And I have an iPhone. I don't know if this works for Android people. I'm not making a dig. I just don't know. We all make digs at Android people. I'm sorry. But I have text prediction on my phone. And so if I type in just 3 quick letters on my phone, it will send a message that says, I have received your message. I'm unable to give you my full attention right now. Here's when you can expect to hear back from me. I look forward to connecting with you. That way I know that I have acknowledged that person and I've set the expectation for when they can hear from me. That just helps my brain not obsess over, oh my gosh, I haven't responded to that person yet. What else? Any other thoughts on any of these? The question that I'm reading right now says, how am I using conversations to let people know I'm in real estate, how to contact me, and how to refer business to me? I have a question of, are we doing those things? Are we using conversations to let people know that we're in real estate and how to contact me and how to refer business?
I mean, I live my life on social media as a real estate agent for the most part, even though I actively still work in a machine shop. So it's, but yeah, anytime I talk to people and they ask me what I do, I mainly focus on the real estate versus the actual full-time job.
Yeah. I love that. You
I
guys,
do that too myself. I make sure that everyone knows. Well, if you're showing personal interest in people and having conversations, the conversation will eventually lead to you, just like you had said earlier. And that's when you have your chance to talk about yourself and talk about what you're doing and just make sure they know you want to help people that are interested in selling or buying, to make sure they refer you. And it's okay to give out your information.
yeah. Yeah, one thing that I have also found just super helpful is, I'm gonna share, I don't know if you can see, like on my phone, there's a QR code there. That's an app, right? So people can just scan it.
I was
And
just gonna say that.
yes, thank you, Tony. Right, and it shares, it's Blink, that's just the one I use. This isn't a promo for them, but what I use. And it shares my email, my phone number, my work address. It's connected to all of my social media, so they can add me very easily, and I can see, right, who has added me to their things. So that's just one way to always have it handy. It's just like, oh, you can get me here on any of these platforms. Which one do you use, Tony?
I think it's the same one.
Yeah,
It's Bling or something.
yeah, BLINQ.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
It comes in handy.
yeah, it's super convenient. It's really easy. Your Command mobile app also has one too. If you go into your setting, I just have this one because I can put it right on my phone and I don't have to search for it. I feel like someone later is gonna tell me I shouldn't say that. But your Command mobile app does have one. All right, well, let me find the right screen again. I keep switching between. That's not it. That's not it. Haha, here it is. Here's the thing. You guys keep getting in my way, the people. Okay. There we go. Now you have had a chance to think about and design your own 19 to Connect plan, so you'll be able to implement this easily. Review the details. The first 2 columns are the magic of the plan, and nothing should be eliminated. right? The occurrence and the activity, those are the things that we're doing. What can be altered is the plan itself, what you're going to implement in there. Remember to put into the plan column what you're going to do, right? When we have a goal or we have a plan, if we write it down, we're more likely to actually do it. Make it your own, like we mentioned a couple times, and keep in mind costs are approximate, but you want to keep those costs in mind. For example, right? Calls and texts. I don't use a service for that, so that doesn't cost me anything. The activity, the emails, I use a smart plan. I use the command Neighborhood Nurture once a month. That is free. I do handwritten birthday cards. It's often not more. I mean, I'm not spending more than $100 a month on stamps, and I buy bulk Amazon birthday cards. It takes more of my time writing them. I do a monthly newsletter. It's designed in Canva and uploaded into my command. I pay for Canva Pro. It's what, $30 or something. So keeping all of those costs into account. I do 2 forms of direct mail. I do postcards, one buyer, one seller. And I usually will do 2 small happy hours. Again, I am not paying for these. And then I typically will do 1 or 2 larger events, one in the spring, one in the fall. And I will partner with another agent in my office or with a vendor. Costs are usually under $500 for those. For Valentine's Day, we partnered with a local shop and gave out cinnamon rolls. And we always will do a prize. So if you bring someone, the catch is, if you bring someone that I don't know that I should be talking to, you get entered in to win a prize. People want to win prizes, and I usually get a vendor to donate a $100 gift card or to donate something to allow someone to win the prize, and then I get to meet a new lead to build that connection. So we'll do one in the spring, and then we usually do a pie giveaway or a pumpkin painting event in the fall. So again, it's usually under $500. Scott, you've got your hand raised.
Yeah, what are you using? You go back to the newsletter. What are you what kind of content are you putting in there? Are you doing like a one pager or just picking a random article and talking about it in the newsletter? What are you
I
doing?
am doing a 1-page because I don't want to bore people with content. I don't want to be spammy. And so typically I will put in the newsletter one thing about me. So my people, I do develop pretty good relationships with my people. And so there'll be a family picture or there'll be something exciting that we've done. And I'll put that in there. Then I'll put one real estate related topic in there, whether it's, the hottest market or buyer trends or a hot neighborhood or whatever the interest rate. I'll put an article in there, and then at the bottom, I'll do the month local events. So I'll pick 3 different things. I'll do a local event to highlight for that month. None of this is sponsored by anyone. Like I do a local restaurant that's going on, and then some cool fun fact, something about our city, and I put that across the bottom with hyperlinks where they can find info on the event, where they can access the menu at the restaurant. I like food, so I'm always at good restaurants, so I can put a lot in there. And then some cool fun fact about Pittsburgh. So it's real estate related, it's personal to me, and then I'm bringing some type of value throughout the month.
Gotcha. Okay.
I've seen some, they're just really long, and I get newsletters all the time from lenders and title companies. I don't read them. They're too long. I try to keep it interesting.
Yeah, we don't want story time, do we?
Yeah. No. And we don't want to be those spammy people like, oh, here's another email from that agent. I don't want to be that person.
Are your newsletters in PDF or what format are they?
It is a Canva.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not a PDF because it is linked, so they can click on the hyperlink.
Oh, wow.
So the Canva is there and it's shared internally. They can't edit it. They can view it and then they can click the hyperlink to take them to the event page or the restaurant.
Oh, okay. And I'm assuming that Canva probably has templates of various newsletters
Oh, yeah.
customized. Okay, great.
Yes. My genius is not invention. I don't want to create all of the things. I just want to input my information in a template. It probably took the longest time, right, building it out initially, but now every month it takes me maybe an hour just to replace some of the content and put the hyperlinks in and get it scheduled to go out.
And do you schedule the delivery through command or
Yes.
do you? Okay. Okay.
Yep,
Great.
through a command smart plan.
Good to know. Because I was thinking, oh, I have to purchase MailChimp and pay for that. And the costs are adding up and I haven't closed anything yet because I'm a new agent.
Yeah, that happens. That's real life. Like we have all these great ideas and you talk to all these agents that are closing however much and you're just like, oh, do this, this, and this. I have zero desire, right? When COVID first happened, it was like cut costs, red light, green light your expenses, and I've never gone back to having more costs than I need. All right. Moving on. Make an impact, focus on value. So your value prop, personal communication, statistics, and data. When you have generated a lead and captured their information, you can talk to them. If you haven't heard back and you don't know much about the person, then your communication will be broader, focusing on a range of values. This is where you'll communicate your value with your own value proposition. That was day 4 of Ignite, or will be day 4 of Ignite. Was day 4. If you can even use the company or personal statistics. We know that people are more likely to respond when the message you are communicating feels personal and relative to them. As you engage with your leads, you can uncover how to serve them better and learn what they're interested in. As you learn this, you segment your leads into more specific groups, covered on day 6 of Ignite. You can communicate more detailed and value-based information. Relative conversations have more value and are timely and lead to a greater opportunity for future conversation. Look beyond the who when you contact a lead. The most basic way to start doing this is to craft your message based on the source the lead was generated from. For example, if the lead came through a social media post about first-time home buyers, sending them an investment property newsletter may not be the most relevant for their current motivation. Once the door is open to two-way communication, use conversations to find their motivation for engaging with your business, what their timeline is, and possibly their interests. Use this information to group them. And so that's where we talk about, right, like when to communicate, I think was one of the questions we were talking about in the beginning, how often. That depends on the person. If they are looking to purchase something in the next 30 to 90 days, we're communicating pretty often with them. If they're 6 months to a year, we're still often, but not as often as those 30-day folks. If they're like a someday lead, we're putting them on the newsletter and the quarterly call, right? And relevant information. That's why we ask the forward questions, why we learn about the people so we can have important conversations and we can say, oh, hey, I know that you said this, that made me think of this, or did you see this? And we can really bring value because we listened. Lead follow-up communication. Turn to the communication with value page in your participant guide. Once you know the source of the lead, you can narrow your range of value. Knowing the source of the lead helps inform you on how you can pair a value with your communication. For example, a lead generated through a client referral will be communicated differently from a lead that came in from a phone call. You are going to be completing an activity by brainstorming statements and questions that you can use when communicating with different lead sources in your database. These statements and questions can be incorporated into your 19 to Connect Touch campaign. For this activity, you can work independently or you can mastermind all of us as a group here. According to lead sources where you complete the activity. So first, as we're getting started, consider the lead sources you already have in your database. If you aren't sure where to start with referrals, open houses, or social media, since those are activities you have learned about or engaged in since starting Ignite. You can also see here possible lead sources that you might have in your database. So we're on page 10.7. You're going to complete the activity by brainstorming statements and questions to use when communicating with different lead sources that are in your database. Who wants to share what their top lead source was? That you're focusing on?
I'm still new, but so far social media has been my top lead source. And it hasn't all just came to me either. There's people that you would think, oh, they're going to choose me as a realtor if they are looking. And then I see them on social media asking the general public, anybody knows somebody? It's like, you know me. What do you mean does anybody know somebody? So then I have to direct message them and then pull them back in. So that's been my best source so far.
And so then what are the questions that your statements or questions that you're having conversations with?
Well, my initial statement was, I've just started this business and I'm eager to learn as much as I can. So anything I can do for you, any questions you have, I'll be more than happy to find the answer. And at that moment, they were friends. Actually, their hairdresser was a realtor. And they were like, well, we know this person, but, we don't have anything in line with them, and you're just starting, and they're already established, and I actually won the contract because I'm just starting. So I was just honest and gonna help.
So how do you overcome that objection when they're like, "Wow, you're new, this person has some more experience," and there's some hesitancy? How do you overcome that?
I was present. Really, that's how I beat it. I was the one that direct messaged her. I was the one that was in her living room at that time. The other one was just, running her business, waiting for her to reach out to her. So that's how I got it.
I love that. You were just there communicating with them. That's great. Earlier it talked about how we can reference any personal wins that we have, even if they're not in real estate, right? Like I've developed X amount of businesses, or I've done this, or you can lean on what our company can offer as a whole, right? We're the largest real estate company. 1 in every 5 transactions passed through a Keller Williams agent last year, or any of those things. If you have a coach or a mentor, you can use their stats and talk about, you get 2 agents for the price of 1 because I have a coach, or yep, that person might have some more experience. They're also super busy. I'm not super busy, so I'm gonna be able to dedicate way more time to you than they are. I'm super hungry. I'm gonna get after it. I'm gonna do a great job so that you refer me, so I get more business. Like we can really spin that in such a light. What else? What's someone else's lead source that they were focusing on?
I've been doing a lot of open houses as much as I can.
Yeah. How's that going?
It's going well. Some days are better than others, of course, but I hand out a lot of cards, and I've been, collecting emails and getting some leads, and it's going well.
That's great. Open houses can be such a great opportunity to connect with people who are really raising both their hands saying, we have an interest in real estate. So what are the statements or questions around leads that you're meeting at an open house? What does that look like for you?
I'm sorry, could you repeat
What
that
are
when you're talking to me?
the statements or questions that you're having with these leads that you're meeting? Like, what are those statements? What are those questions? What do those conversations look like?
Well, I usually just ask, are you out looking today? Are you visiting open houses? And then I usually tell them a little bit about the house and then let them go on their own. And when they're coming, gonna leave, I ask, if they'd sign in, and, it depends on the person too. Some people want to talk, other people just don't want to be bothered. So I try to, judge, or not judge, but kind of gauge my conversation on how they're, reacting to me, or, responding to me. So.
Yeah, definitely. There are chatters and non-chatters. One opening conversation that I heard that I thought was super interesting. Rather than, oh, what brings you in today? Or why are you coming to my open house? Or that's typically what I say. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
what brings you in? Like the open house brings me in, right? So I heard someone say, instead of that, say, where are you traveling from today? Could be far, could be right down the road. They could know the area, but that changes the conversation just a little bit. And then I always ask, what are your plans for after the open house? And I know what other open houses are in the area. Like I have it studied and I have it printed. And they say, oh, I'm gonna hit that open house next. I'll go, oh yeah, with so and so, because I studied it. I'm like, yeah. Tell them you were here and I said hi. Right. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you know what you're talking about. And I said, well, I'm not gonna keep you, but while you're looking around, be sure to look at this, and this, and I'll point out like 3 things, like send them on an Easter egg hunt out through the house so that they're hyper fixated on trying to find some different cool things. Like make sure you look at that closet or whatever it is. And then when they come back, I just say again, what did you say your plans were for the rest of the afternoon? And just spark that conversation coming from that place of curiosity, where now we're going to talk about their family or their recreation for the rest of the day. And at the end, when they're getting ready to head out, if that wasn't the one for them, I say, hey, I'll tell you what, and I hand my phone. So now there's trust because I'm giving someone my phone with the text up, and I'm like, put your number in here and I'll start a text thread. If I see anything that comes on the market, or if I hear of anything coming up sooner rather than later, can I send you a message? Now I have permission to contact them.
That sounds good.
But we got to get people to the open houses to be able to have those conversations though, right?
Right.
It's not fun sitting there by ourselves.
And some days are good, other days I don't have anybody, so.
Absolutely. We've been there. We've all been there. Any other lead sources that we're thinking of?
I mentioned this one the other day. I've been putting on my Keller Williams name badge, dressed the part, and I've been going downtown and visiting businesses, dropping off cards, talking to business owners, letting them know I'm in the area and would love to work with anybody they know.
Yeah, that's
And
incredible.
Also, when you go to the gym, have Keller Williams paraphernalia on. I mean, you're your biggest billboard. So anytime I leave the house, I try to have something on real estate.
Yeah, I took business planning clinic last fall, and Gene Rivers wearing his name tag. Everyone, we all know who Gene is, right? He's wearing his name tag. He's like, I can force you to look at my name tag. And we all started laughing. He was like, you think and he like stood, he would look at you and he'd look at his name tag until you looked at the name tag. And he was like, I can force you to look at my name tag, always wearing the Keller Williams, or brand, whatever it is, to let people know who you are. Absolutely. Heck yeah.
Yes, I don't even take it off if I go in Walmart or the dollar store. I make sure everybody sees it too.
Yeah. Yeah, or running comps is my cardio, right? We have an agent who wears that shirt to the gym. Running comps is my cardio. All right. Do we have any ahas this time around? Let's share some ahas. Dang it, I always go too far. That is exactly what you're currently doing. You wear your shirt to the gym. I love that, Evelyn.
I'll say wearing more. Probably I can probably do that one. Just get a swag and not it.
Yeah.
I really liked your conversations at open houses. I thought that was brilliant. And the handing off your phone, that is an excellent idea.
Creates trust. And also, you can walk away from a sign-in sheet. If I hand you my phone, what are you going to do? you're just gonna do it. You're just gonna put your info in. It'd be weird to give it back.
So when you say you had the message already queued up, what's the message you're putting on there before you hand them the phone?
Like I just have my text up and I just go to create a new message and I just say, put your number in. And they type it in and then I hand it back and I just type with my name and real estate agent Keller Williams. And now we have a thread going. If I think of anything or I find anything or I hear of anything coming up, can I text you? Or if they are going to another open house after and we've had a good conversation and it feels right. Then when I say, oh yeah, you're headed over to Jamie's open house on 22nd Street. Yeah, make sure you say hi. I'll send her a text if you want, just to let her know that you're on your way. Let her, and then they're like, oh, okay, like now you're looking out for me, right? And I'm gonna text her and be like, hey, my people are coming over.
Have you had anyone ever not put their phone number in?
So this is something, honestly, like I just started. I took this away from Family Reunion. It was Phil Jones. He wrote exactly what to say. So he's like a language wizard. And he was teaching a class and I was like, aha, this is genius. And so since Family Reunion a month ago, I've hosted a couple open houses on the weekend and I have not had anyone be like, nope, I'm not doing that.
And sometimes you have to say, hey, well, I'm gonna go ahead and call you so that you'll have my number before you leave. Cause sometimes they'll give you a fake number.
Yeah, right. That's such a good point. Any other ahas? All right. Ahas to achievement. Turn to your post lead follow-up page in the Am I on the right page? No, I'm not. What has happened? Got a little ahead of myself. I'm sorry. No. Oh yeah, here we go. Sheesh almighty. Bring it back. Okay, now we're on the post lead follow-up. Turn to the post lead follow-up page in your participant guide. Once you follow up with a lead, you have permission to have that two-way conversation. What do you think happens with that person? They're a lead. We now have permission to have a two-way conversation with them. What happens?
They can't wait to hear from me again.
That's right. They can't wait to hear from us. What were you saying?
They become a contact.
They become a contact. Yes, gold star. They become a contact. After you obtain permission to have the two-way conversation, the lead then becomes a contact in your database. In Command, you will do this manually. This also means that you will move the lead from the 19 to connect touch campaign to the 36 to convert. Connecting with that lead does not necessarily mean that they want to do business with you or that your relationship is as strong as it could be. That is why you continue into another touch campaign. Whether it is a lead or a contact in your database, Every person should be on a touch campaign. This is how you'll gain and keep mind share while continuing to do all of the jobs of a real estate agent. At the point where a lead opens the door for a two-way conversation, you must cement the relationship. Everyone in your database should be cemented right when you transition them to the 36 to convert. Refer back to the post lead follow-up page in your participant guide. What do you think the purpose of the One to Cement Touch campaign is? Is everyone on that page 10.8, the post lead follow-up One to Cement? What is the purpose of this campaign?
To solidify your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says to open the door for future interactions.
Yep. What else? We're solidifying our relationship, we're opening the door, we're setting that standard of when we're communicating next, we're gonna interact again. What else? We're gonna tell them about the service that we're gonna provide.
And then it says to tell them how to refer business to you.
Yep. Tony says in the chat to set up for follow-ups. Yep. And how to refer business. They might not do business with you right now, but they might know someone who will. Right? It is a high value touch that offers a strong first impression and sets the tone for your relationship together. Whatever you choose here should serve more than one purpose, right? It should do all of those things that we just mentioned. What are some options that you could offer as your One to Cement? Do you know what other agents are using that they have found successful? What do you think you could do here? Have an example. We have a book called Your First Home. It's for first-time home buyers, written by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. This is an example, right? You could give them a first-time home buyer book. A little bit costly, $18.99, probably plus tax. But do we think that if we're having a conversation with the first-time home buyer and we are setting the standard of how we're going to conduct business together, we're setting the stage for when I'm going to contact you next, I'm explaining to you that you are going to receive such good business and an experience from me that this is how I can expect to receive a referral from you. That's a real conversation that I have with those words. This is how I can expect to receive a referral from you when I do such a great job throughout our process, not when it's over. Throughout our process, you're going to refer leads. And I got this for you. First-time home buyer book. If they're an investor, we have the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. We have lots of books. to bring value. Maybe you add a note on the inside that says, this is the biggest purchase of your life, and I'm so honored to be a part of that with you. I know that from start to finish, this is going to be an incredible experience, and I can't wait to share that with you. They're going to think of you forever.
Is this something that we do with everyone, or is this reserved for, let's say, our VIPs because of the cost associated?
That's completely up to you. I think that is a super fair question, and I think that depends on where they are, right? This is not something that I'm gonna give to somebody who's a future business. This is something that I'm gonna give to somebody that's a pretty within the next 6 months to almost a year business, right? Like someone who's very certain we're gonna do business together and you're gonna purchase a home in the next 6 months,
Got it.
right? If you're 5 years out or more, it could be after we meet or we have our two-way conversation where we build that bond. I'm gonna send you a handwritten card to your house that just thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I enjoyed getting to know this, this, and this, and I look forward to future blah, blah, blah. And I sign that card and I send it.
Okay.
What
Great.
else? Any other thoughts? What are we thinking? A buyer's guide packet, absolutely. Absolutely. So we do listing presentations where we're going to lay out a very nice quality of their home with the estimated cost sheet for their home. We could do absolutely the same thing for a buyer's guide packet. We can provide lender information. We can lay out what that process is going to look like. Whatever your value proposition is, make it yours. Any ahas from there?
I didn't know that we had a book like that. So that was nice. So
Yes.
thank you.
Mhm.
Absolutely. We also have in somewhere in Connect, I get lost in there. Gary Keller and Jay Papasan have an entire first-time home buyer seminar with the slides and a whole PowerPoint laid out with exactly what to say down at the bottom. You don't have to think about a thing. You just have to get people to show up.
Where can we locate that at?
It is in Connect. If you go into Connect and type in first time home buyer seminar, it's going to pop up somewhere and it's going to bring you to the slides. I mean, it has everything that you need. I have it downloaded. There are printouts that you can give to your people that show up. And it does reference, it came out at the same time as the book, which is pretty new within the past 2 years. Yeah, 2022. Guys, our leaders really have taken all the guesswork out of this for us.
And what was that book again?
Your first home. As we wrap up our learning session, what is a lead follow-up? What's a lead follow-up?
Keeping in touch with your potential buyers or sellers. Keep putting
Yes.
them in your smart plan.
Yes, that's perfect. And how do we follow up with that lead?
Well, I mean, with this, you can follow up with social media, direct mail, email, phone call, video call. All kinds of it.
Mm-hmm. We have here, what about a video so the clients can watch it together instead of waiting to read the book when the other one finishes? You certainly can be and should be, I don't want to say should, can be utilizing video content. You can make a whole video and then chop it down into pieces and create reels on all of the social medias. The internet loves short reels with hashtags and content with informative information from those videos. Yes, David. I'm gonna stop my screen share. We're gonna keep going. I'm gonna stop my screen share because I'm gonna try to find that first time home buyer stuff for you to drop it in there. I might struggle for a second though.
I found it. I can drop it.
Ah, you're incredibly fast. Thank you.
It's a great presentation. Very well done.
It's incredible, right? Yes, love this.
Super long though.
It's a lot for sure.
Are you
What-
dropping it into the comments?
Yeah, he dropped it
Yeah,
in the
I
chat.
just put it in. Click that link to see if it works. Hopefully it does.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it's loading up.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Are there other presentations that we should know about?
That's not really, not that I know. That's the best one. Because listing presentations are very hyper focused on the
Mhm.
listing and local, at least here in our area, every municipality is super weird and different. So it's all completely different, but that one is incredible. And as newer agents, right, we want to focus on leads, listing, leverage, but buyers are easy to find, easier, right? So we see, I'm not pigeonholing anyone, go out there, everyone, and go get 5 listings this month. Like, yes. But the buyer process is very systematic. We can automate a lot of the buyer process, which is why we have the presentation. What do you think is your call to action from today's lesson? Is it finishing planning out your lead to follow up? 19 to connect plan for any new leads added to your database? Is it scheduling your calendar for these activities? Is it preparing your one to cement? Or is it something different? Get out in the community more, says Diane in the chat. What else? What is your call to action from today? What are we gonna do? What's one thing we're gonna implement in our business when we leave here tonight?
Well, one thing that I've really wanted to do for the past several weeks, but been struggling just in terms of, I guess, technology, figuring out what platform, what application. I do want to send out a newsletter to let my sphere know that I'm now a real estate agent. And so you mentioned Canva, which I have the pro version as well. I just need to probably watch some videos to see how I can do that through command. So I think that's going to be my action item.
I love that. Anyone else have an item that they're gonna take away?
First time home buyer presentation.
Yeah. We have a major opportunity right now. I don't want to nerd out on y'all because I get very far off topic. But we have a big opportunity with interest rates. They're going to stay the same for now. They're not going to get raised. They have the potential to go down a little bit if all is going well, which is projecting to do. At the State of the Union speech, they announced that they're going to offer a tax credit to first-time home buyer. Like, we have a huge opportunity to generate first-time home buyer leads. You have the presentation right there. There's no reason why you can't partner with a lender in your office and host a seminar. You don't have to partner with anyone. If your office will let you hold it in their training room, that will cost you $0. Have people in, give them a bottle of water while they sit there and a pad of paper, and generate some leads. Put it on social media. Talk to every single person you know. Door knock an area. That was my door knock. Invite people. We have a huge opportunity for sure. I went too far again. That's the story of my life. I think we're grossly over time, just so everyone's aware where we're at here. I'm here for it, I'm just saying. And I keep messing up this slideshow. I don't know how we get here. This is my fault, I know. Ahas to achievement. Each day in Ignite, you grow in how you think, feel, act, and implement what you've learned. From learning and ahas, you move toward achievement in your big life. And that's what we're here for, right? To achieve big goals. Write down in your participant guide how you've grown in each of the areas. What page are we on here? Turn ahas into achievement, page 10.9. Write down where you've grown. For the sake of time, as you're writing, if anyone wants to just share out loud, I'll take volunteers to share where you've grown.
For me, I'm working on like in Canva, building marketing and things I still gotta work on. My first submission, I forgot the Fair Housing Act logo and realtor logo. So, there's things where I have to learn to follow and stay in compliance. But yeah, it's just like I said, being a dual agent, finding the time and just making sure I do that time blocking. And then, I mean, you guys have given me some great ideas of ways that I can market myself down in the fire.
Thanks for sharing. I love that. We're all always learning. Let's see. Get into a CRM, learn into the CRM and learn the smart plans. Follow up with every lead, use command better.
I recently started using Canva, and the fact that I'm taking this class is also something that shows me like I want to grow and start kind of taking real estate more seriously. I am also have been more social media present. So I think those are all good steps to start kind of growing my business more.
Absolutely. We grow when we step out and do something different, right? as people are heading out, I understand that we've gone over time, so head out when you have to. I appreciate everyone who stayed and getting to hang out with all of you. But I'm hanging in there until we get through it. If y'all are here to hang in, that's I'm here for it. But that's exactly right. When we step out and do things we're not used to, or we get uncomfortable, like that's where we grow. So that's very uncomfortable. It's a great feeling. See, Evelyn said, getting out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Diane has to go feed livestock. Good night, Diane. I don't have that here in Pittsburgh, but good night. That's so fun. All right, we are going to click. All right, we know I'm not good at clicking through here. All right, we're going to click past that one and get to this one, daily success system. Let's move into our success system time, keeping in mind the purpose is to develop mindset, skills, and tools you need to build relationships and secure an appointment with a potential buyer or seller. Your daily success system tracker includes 10 conversations with your sphere, people you know and who know you, 10 contacts added to your database, their name, phone number, address, more, 10 handwritten notes, express gratitude or let people know you're in real estate and appreciate referrals, utilize the 10-5-1 model for social media engagement, and other enrichment. You will be accomplishing many of these goals during your success system time. Keep doing these activities outside of class time, our time together as well. During the final update time, you may also write notes and engage in social media. So it wants us to take a lot of time. I don't know how this is all supposed to fit into 2 hours. To do these activities and to role play. We're on this page still, I think. Dang it. Every time. The first job of a real estate agent is lead generation because the activity of generating leads is the foundation of your business. In addition, practicing conversations and dialogues will prepare you for success. That is appointments, signed agreements, signed contracts, and sales closed. Of course, before we get involved in conversations with our sphere and lead generating, we must remember to comply with TCPA and do not call regulations. We review this every Ignite session because it is critical that you protect yourself and your market center from any legal action. Make a permanent habit. Follow the guidelines for calling and texting people. Legal notice must say the following verbatim. I have to read this. Today, you're going to make calls to your sphere and people in your database. Before you make any calls or texts, please remember to honor the TCPA and do not call list, including those of your market center and state. If you have any questions or concerns about this, please consult your market center or attorney to ensure compliance. Refer to the pages at the beginning of your participant guide for more details. These guidelines are for your protection as well as the protection of your clients. Let's review the importance of Telephone Consumer Protection Act and do not call regulations for when you're making calls and texts to your database. You can turn to the page in your participant guide to go over this. Got that out of the way. That's what the next page says. You can review this. Don't call people who don't want to be called. You're going to get in trouble. That's the bottom line of it. Right? But if we come back to hear. If we are doing these things on a daily basis, if we're having 10 conversations with our sphere of influence, people who know, like, and trust you, and you know, like, and trust, we're adding 10 contacts to our database every day. We're sending 10 handwritten notes, and we're utilizing the 10-5-1 method model for social media and engagement. If you did those things time blocked, I mean, that would take what? Aside from adding the contacts, because you have to have the contacts to add, but if you had 10 conversations, sent 10 written notes, and utilized the 10-5-1 model for social media, and what's that going to take? Maybe 2 hours? Can we time block that? Evelyn is not a fan of social media, but she tries to plug in and connect with 20 people daily. There is, it might be the 10-5-1. We learned in bold, you know, like you interact with 10 people, like you like 10 different posts, you comment 10 different times on people's posts, and it has to be a comment more than just like cool, awesome, right? It has to be an engaging content. And then 5 direct messages. 1, it'll change the algorithm of your Facebook, and 2, it keeps you top of mind, right? So again, I'm aware that I'm coming here. It's different. It can feel different depending on who you are as a person. So tailor it to yourself. But I am at the age where a lot of my friends are, they have growing families. And so every single time I see somebody post that they're having a baby, 110%, I like, comment, and I am direct messaging them. Congratulations. So excited. Every time they have that baby, like, comment, direct message. And then I get super personal, and I will scroll through their Facebook for as long as I have to find the information that I want. And I'm like, oh man, how are her, maybe it's a girl, how are her 2 older brothers doing with her being home in the house? I didn't actually know that she had 2 older brothers, but I had to scroll through Facebook because I wanted to make sure, right? That's so real though. I don't know, Christine. You know, but that person is like, oh my goodness, you remembered that I had 2 older boys. Because guess what? People with growing families, they buy bigger houses. I bought a bigger house because I had a baby, and I was like, there's too much stuff. I mean, people do that. Right? So if we are directly connecting with people, liking, commenting, direct messaging, calling our sphere of influence. If I call you and you're in my sphere, listen, role play might sound like something you don't want to do. Get it out of the way. I don't care. Do it anyways. I role play 3 times a week. You call your people and you're like, hey, how's it going? What's new? How's Bill? How's his job? Is so-and-so at work still annoying him? Oh man, guess who I saw the other day? Right? We're just going to have a conversation. We're going to bring up a lot. How's your job? Depends on your level of knowledge. Here's another conversation. If you have any past clients or you have anyone in your sphere, I don't care if you sold them the home or not. If you know that they're a homeowner, we just entered the first day of spring today. We're going to be turning, depending, I don't know where y'all live. I'm going to be turning my AC on soon. It's going to get hot. It's snowing today. It's going to be hot soon, I promise. I'm going to turn my AC on. Guess what you're supposed to do every time you turn your AC back on? You got to get it serviced. Got to get it serviced. So I'm going to call an HVAC person that I know, and I'm going to say, hey, you know that I'm a real estate agent. I'm about to call all my people and ask them if they need their AC service. Can I give them your information? They're going to say yes. Now you call your people. It's a hostess gift. You bring a gift and you say, hey, happy spring. It's going to be hot soon. Do you have any plans to get your AC serviced? No. Hey, I got a guy. You want his number? You should get it serviced, right? Or they say, I don't have AC. And then you say, holy guacamole, let's buy you a house that has AC. Because I don't know how you live. Well, now we're going to convert them into a buyer because they need AC. All right, you bring a hostess gift. You give something, a referral, and then while you're on the phone, start a little bit of chit chat. You get to bring up real estate. Hey, while I have you on the phone, do you know anyone that I should be talking to about real estate? That I can call right now? Hey, got a problem. Can you help me? I'm having a contest. Whoever gets the most referrals this month wins. Know anyone I should call? I mean, like, these are real conversations that I have. Every spring, I'm calling with that HVAC guy. Every fall, I'm calling for the furnace. I'm bringing value at all times. That way, I have earned the right to ask for something in return. Handwritten notes, birthday, home anniversary. Again, I don't care if you didn't sell them that house. They still have a home anniversary. I'm sending them a card. I send my whole neighborhood a card. Happy home anniversary. Can you believe you've lived in your home for 7 years? Looking back, I'm sure you have some incredible memories. Here's to the next one. Looking to buy or sell anytime soon? Call me. I didn't sell them that home. But I promise if I'm thinking about their home more than their agent that sold it to them 7 years ago, they're going to think about me. And my face is going to be in there so that when I drive past their house, they're going to be like, hey, he sent me that card. The fun thing about handwritten cards too is, and I don't ever prompt people to do this, but they do it every time. I'll send a handwritten card and then they'll get it. They'll take a picture of it and they'll post it on their social media and they tag me in it. And they're like, I love getting these birthday cards from Allie Bradley Keller Williams, real estate agent. That's like the best promotion you can get because then I share it. And so not only are they in my sphere and they got a card, but their sphere is seeing that I did this. It happens every time. Nah, nah, nah. Holy guacamole. We're gonna click. Click. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution with people, and people are happy in the relationship with me. To be in relation, I can read, it's getting late. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. That is your affirmation before we make phone calls. Say it out loud before you make the call. Just do it. Or say whatever sounds natural to you. When you're getting ready for your lead gen activities, prepare so you know who you're going to call. Take action. Just do the thing. When you connect with people through conversation, this is your most valuable activity, building relationships with people in your database, and it takes up most of your lead gen time. If you get someone that's super chatty, that's going to take up a lot of your time. Great. It's going to take up a lot of your time. Maintain when you update contacts in your database. If you've had a conversation with them, make a note in your contact tab, update that with your most recent time that you called them and what any important information was. So when you call them again, you can come back to it and reference, because they're going to think you have an incredible memory that you remembered that last quarter when you talked to them, they told you that Aunt Susie was moving here from Florida. I made that up. 10 contacts that you have permission to call, TCPA compliant. But if it's on a systematic, that's why I mentioned the DTD2, the database too, because there's zero thought behind that. Otherwise, I'll go through my phone and I'm like, oh, I don't want to call that person. I don't want to call that one. Nope. If I know that this week I'm calling A's Q and texting C, I just do it. Take the guesswork out of it. It says we're supposed to be role playing and calling people. It's like 8:30 at night. Do y'all really call people at 8:30 at night? I didn't think so. We should do this tomorrow. We should call people tomorrow, not at 8:30 at night. Yeah. So before you get started in your activities tomorrow, begin with your affirming message, whether it's the one that was on the screen or it's your own affirming message, whatever it is. Start with your affirming message that you have value. You have a reason to call people and they are happy to hear from you. Period. It is true. Use some things that we've been talking about to get started in your conversations. And then make notes, keep updates in command. Use this daily success system tracker. And you can write down the number of the number out of 10 conversations you had, the number of contacts that you added. If you did the 10-5-1 social media engagement, like keep track every day so you know how you're doing. And then what are you going to choose as your enrichment? Whatever you're going to choose, I would write it off to the side there so that you know and you can track whether or not you did it. The next topic is session 11, follow up with leads. I have a really big fear that we were supposed to do that tonight too, guys. I don't know how that would happen. I'm just saying I will deal with that later. I'll deal with that tomorrow because that would be a long time. Oh, now it jumped all the way back. Any additional ahas or thoughts, comments, concerns? No, we weren't supposed to. Well, I don't know if you were answering that. Any additional comments, thoughts, concerns as we wrap up a little bit later than we were supposed to?
I like the idea that you were with the HVAC and the air conditioning and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. That's actually something different than, hey, I'm a real estate agent,
Yeah. I think it feels different when you come with something to offer. It does for me.
Right.
Real estate, you're correct. Sheila, real estate has no true set hours. We got to put the work in. You can certainly be on social media right now, messaging people. Everyone else is sending texts. If you call at 8:30 at night, rock on. But you're right, there are no set hours, which is a blessing and a curse. We got to set our own hours and set our own boundaries for some work life. I don't know, counterbalance. We're gonna use counterbalance from the one thing.
Sweet.
Let's see. There are 100 ways to communicate and be doing 100%. Especially in this world, there are tons of ways. I was really saying if we want it in this class. Absolutely, yes. Yes, you're right. We have to unplug. We have to know what our boundaries are, when we can work. And if we do work dual career, there are plenty of agents that do it. You just got to work a little bit harder in the hours that you can.
Yeah, and they have to be longer. It wasn't coming out right, but I'm like, you're taking time out of your schedule to be here this late. So I'm just saying, you got to get the knowledge when you can, especially when you're dual career.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm meaning that to come across.
Yeah, I gotcha. You're right. If you want it, you'll get it. You know, there's plenty of business out there. There's plenty of avenues, so I appreciate that. You know, we're all here at 8:30 on a Tuesday night. Any of your instructors that are here teaching this course, it's because they truly believe in this course and this company, and they believe in we know that if y'all put the work in, you're gonna do great. And that's what we
I
want.
can tell you too, because I once was with the flat rate brokerage, and I left it because I was like, I'm not getting what I need and what I feel the service that I need to offer to clients. So I gave up that 100% brokerage that only charged you like $45 for every transaction, and came back to Keller Williams. It's a difference. And people don't realize that. They're like, oh, we spend so much money. Yeah, we do. But when you go and see, you'll see that you see.
Yeah.
That's when you learn it's not really about the money, because the money is going to come. So
that's right. That's right. I agree 100%. I've only been with Keller Williams. I am an agent. I am also a team leader here in our market center in Pittsburgh. And so I talk to agents from all other brokerages. I have all of the info, and I'm like, I have not found a reason to leave. Like, we are who we are for a reason. We pour into our agents, and as a capping model company and a capping agent, right, we have the opportunity to earn 100%, no fine print or red lines or sliding scale or whatever. But I love that you're over here telling your wife, don't worry about it, the money will come. It will come. You got to put the work in, right? I was gonna say we can't make it rain, but we can, but we got to put the work in to get there.
you really do. And people worry about the capping. You can actually cap in 2 to 3 months. Some people cap in the first month.
Yeah.
So you have the next 11 months. That's all yours.
That's right. That's absolutely correct. And then it's a game, right? When you get that first cap, and then the next year you're like, oh, I want to cap faster. I want to cap faster. I want to cap faster. It just becomes a game. For me, I'm motivated by that.
I know, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be my first time. I haven't capped yet, but I'm very short of it. But I don't have any deals coming yet.
Manifest them. Put that out into the universe. You are gonna have them.
It's gonna happen. I'm like,
you're gonna close them, and you're gonna cap, and you're gonna get on that capper wall and get that recognition, and it's gonna
because we do have dual career people in our office that has capped already.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it can be done, dual career and all.
Yes, ma'am. It certainly can. You got to work a little bit harder because you have less hours to do it in. That's all. You just got to cram in when you can. So that's why we're here at 8:30 at night. So y'all get the opportunity, the same opportunity as everyone else. I hope that anything here, you take away one piece of information and use it to implement in your business. I will say my experience with all of the big Keller Williams events is there's so much great information all of the time that we can get stuck in the thinking phase. Just pick one thing. Pick one thing and implement it in your business. That's it. Keep it so simple and just add one thing into your business. Make the stinking calls. It's the only way to get business. Don't be afraid of the phone.
Have you ever gone to MegaFest?
I've gone to Mega Camp and Family
Oh,
Reunion.
yeah, that.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Mega Camp. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I go to Mega Camp every year. And Mega Agent and Mega Leadership.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. I love the international events. I don't miss them if I can help it. Any other thoughts, comments, concerns? I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. All right, well then, have a great night, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your classes.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Good night, thank you.
Good night.